Another month has come and gone. Welcome back to Round 2 Wrestling. I am your host, SlimmDa KID, here on the 1st of August, 2023. For those of you tuning into this broadcast for the very first time, you are in for a treat. Round 2 Wrestling is very similar to a news broadcast. However, we have it broken down into 4 rounds, or 4 segments, beginning with Round 1, the what-ifs and maybes in the world. That is the pro wrestling rumor mill. Round 2, something a bit more real, pro wrestling news. Round 3, title matches and those exclusive results for you, the fan. And then we conclude with Round 4, did you know pro wrestling facts. This is the beginning of Round 2 Wrestling, and we kick off every episode every week the same way, by putting our ear to the scanner and taking a listen to the pro wrestling rumor mill. So here we go, Round 1. PW Torch says Vince McMahon has grown into a fan of LA Knight. They also echo recent talk of a big push coming for him soon. With SummerSlam coming up this Saturday live here in Detroit, Michigan, this could be the pay-per-view that puts him over. PW Insider Elite notes that there has been a lot of internal discussion about Royal Rumble 2024 taking place at Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg, Florida. Fightful Select says Minneapolis is being heavily discussed as a location for WrestleMania 41. This is interesting. Of course, Minneapolis is in Minnesota, and it's quite cold here in the north at the end of March, beginning of April. This particular event would be inside in a domed stadium, but Minneapolis is bitterly cold at that time of year, or can be. So maybe making Minneapolis the home of WrestleMania 41 isn't the best idea, but I'm also not the one calling the shots. That's just my personal opinion. PW Insider says the word making the rounds is that Liv Morgan has a separated shoulder, but they couldn't fully confirm this injury. Sports Illustrated reports the bed of nails from AEW's Blood and Guts match was Jon Moxley's idea, and Bryan Danielson hopes he'll get another chance to wrestle Kota Ibushi. Dave Meltzer said on Wrestling Observer Radio he believes Rush's contract offer from AEW is longer than the one-year deal AEW and Rush did in 2022 because AEW is trying to sign people for multiple years, quote-unquote. Speaking of AEW contracts, Fightful Select says Dustin Rhodes' contract doesn't end until September of 2024. This particular next rumor is very exciting for me. PW Insider reports that Scott Garland, aka the former WWE wrestler Scotty 2 Hotty, was working backstage as a producer at this week's AEW Dynamite taping. He is trying out for the position and is expected to be around for at least a few weeks. Scotty 2 Hotty was one of my favorite wrestlers growing up, and I really hope he has an opportunity for AEW waiting for him. Even though Odyssey Jones was drafted to the Raw roster, BWE says he should be debuting on SmackDown soon. The Wrestling Observer newsletter notes that the WWE Tag Team titles won't be defended at SummerSlam because Kevin Owens is taking time off to heal a broken rib. More on this came out as the days have gone by. Apparently, Kevin Owens has been wrestling with a broken rib for a while, so a much-needed hiatus for the Tag Team Champion. WWE believed they had a good shot at signing Kenny Omega, but that's gone cold, and they now believe Omega will re-sign with AEW along with the Young Bucks and Adam Page, according to the Wrestling Observer newsletter. That is the conclusion of Round 1 and the Pro Wrestling Rumor Mill. Enough to think about for the next week or so, but we are going to keep this gravy train rolling and move over to Round 2, Pro Wrestling News. Former WCW star back in jail? After a report he was arrested earlier this month on a DUI and speeding surfaced, Buff Bagwell tweeted that he, quote, had to spend time in jail for a DUI, but this was from the original offense years ago, end quote, and that he was recently sanctioned for failing to properly document an out-of-state trip. The former WCW wrestler has been living with Diamond Dallas Page and says he'll celebrate 11 months of sobriety. The BBC reports that Welsh professional wrestler Adrian Street has died at the ripe old age of 82. The British World of Sport wrestler recently suffered a stroke. Complications associated with that stroke are believed to have caused his death, according to Street's wife/manager, Miss Linda. A wrestling career that lasted more than 53 years, Street was a 6-time NWA Southeastern Heavyweight Champion and a Mid-South Television Champion. Impact Wrestling announces multi-city United Kingdom Invasion Tour coming up in October of 2023. After the successful Down Under tour in Australia, Impact Wrestling will head back overseas this October for the UK Invasion Tour. Impact today confirmed the following events. Thursday, October 26th at the O2 Academy in Glasgow, Scotland. Friday, October 27th at Walker Activity Dome in Newcastle, England. Saturday, October 28th at HMV Empire in Coventry, England. So if you are in the British Isles this particular fall, be sure to check out Impact Wrestling as it travels your country. AEW's Buddy Matthews suffers an injury during his match this past Saturday. On AEW Collision, Buddy Matthews suffered an apparent shoulder dislocation during his ladder match with Andrade El Idolo. Buddy's shoulder was popped back into place by the AEW medical team, and he continued the match with seemingly no issue. No report was made of any long-term damage to Matthews following this match. WWE Superstar sets another record. Intercontinental Champion Gunther passes Randy Savage to become the third longest reigning Intercontinental Champion of all time. That leaves just two men who have enjoyed longer reigns than Gunther. It is a 40-year-old title and has had multiple champions, yet only 3 can claim longevity. Pedro Morales was champion for 424 days, while the longest reigning champion in WWE history is the Honky Tonk Man, holding the title for a record 453 days. Will Gunther still be champion after SummerSlam in Detroit this Saturday, or will his reign come to an end? Another former NXT UK wrestler has announced their free agency. Aaliyah James has officially left WWE. James was part of the NXT UK brand, but has not wrestled since March of 2022. Aaliyah James took to social media to confirm that she is, quote, free as a bird, and asked fans who they would like to see her wrestle. No word on if any other promotion has reached out to the young wrestler at this time. Alright, that draws to a conclusion a shortened pro wrestling news section. However, we are going to move right over to round 3, title matches. Warning, this particular segment may contain spoilers for your favorite promotions, including NXT Great American Bash, WWE house shows, and Ring of Honor tapings. Here we go. NWA World Junior Heavyweight Champion Kerry Morton defeated Matt Vine to retain the NWA World Junior Heavyweight Championship. AEW International Champion Orange Cassidy defeated AR Fox to retain the AEW International Championship. Ring of Honor 6-man Tag Team Champions The Embassy defeated Iron Savages to retain the Ring of Honor 6-man Tag Team titles. AEW World Tag Team Champions FTR defeated MJF and Adam Cole to retain the AEW World Tag Team titles. Ring of Honor Pure Champion Katsuyori Shibata defeated Josh Woods to retain the Ring of Honor Pure Championship. Impact World Champion Alex Shelley defeated Brian Myers to retain the Impact World Championship. WWE Intercontinental Champion Gunther wrestled Matt Riddle to a no-contest decision. Gunther retains the WWE Intercontinental Championship. WWE United States Champion Austin Theory defeated AJ Styles to retain the WWE United States Championship. WWE Women's Champion Asuka defeated Charlotte Flair and Shotzi to retain the WWE Women's Championship. WWE World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins defeated Finn Balor to retain the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. The Family defeated NXT Tag Team Champions Gallus to become the new NXT Tag Team Champions. NXT North American Champion Dominic Mysterio defeated Mustafa Ali and Wes Lee to retain the NXT North American Championship. NXT Women's Champion Tiffany Stratton defeated Thea Hale to retain the NXT Women's Championship. NXT Champion Carmelo Hayes defeated Ilya Dragunov to retain the NXT Championship. Lots of titles on the line this past week and weekend. Be sure to listen to Round 2 Wrestling again and Round 3 in particular to confirm whether or not your favorite promotion had a title on the line and whether or not it crowned a new champion or if that reigning champion defended successfully. We are at the end of Round 2 Wrestling. We are coming up to the final round, Round 4. Did you know pro wrestling facts? Did you know our little bits of information and facts about the wrestling world that you may or may not have known about? You gotta love the bell. Did you know only 3 wrestlers in history have held the NWA Championship and WWE Championship in their careers? They are Buddy Rogers, Ric Flair, and AJ Styles. Did you know Bret Hart's total in-ring time for WrestleManias in Canada totals only 19 seconds? Hulk Hogan, on the other hand, has a total of 42 minutes in ring time in WrestleManias hosted in Canada. Did you know Paul Levesque was involved in the notorious Click Goodbye between departing WWF wrestlers Scott Hall and Kevin Nash and Triple H and Shawn Michaels? McMahon would punish Triple H for this, resulting in him losing the 1996 King of the Ring tournament and being replaced with Stone Cold Steve Austin. This pay-per-view coined 2 catchphrases for Stone Cold and launched the superstardom of the Rattlesnake. Did you know in 1994, WWF was in a legal battle with WWF, or the World Wildlife Foundation? The 2 sides came to an agreement that allowed the wrestling promotion to still use the WWF name and logo. The World Wildlife Fund sued Titan Sports in the UK in the year 2000 for violating the 94 agreement, and the British courts ruled in the World Wildlife Fund's favor. In 2002, World Wrestling Federation rebranded to WWE as a result and was forced to remove the scratched WWF logo and spoken uses of WWF in old footage. In 2012, WWF and WWE agreed to let WWE use the WWF 90s logo and spoken word in older footage once again. Did you know AEW International Champion Orange Cassidy has defended his title more times than any champion in AEW history, successfully defending the title 26 different times? And did you know midget wrestling has many names? Micro wrestling, little people pro wrestling, wee wrestling, dwarf wrestling. No matter what it's called, it applies to people 5 feet and under. Dwarf wrestling finds its roots in America in the 1950s and 70s, although it has been around in Mexico since the early 1900s. I am your host, SlimmDa KID. Thank you once again for tuning into this brand new podcast. Be sure to join us next week for brand new news, results, and rumors from the world of pro wrestling.